Green Beret Major Jim Gant recently granted an interview to ABC to talk about the reason why he was dishonorably discharged from the Army. In fact, he was forced to resign. And it's kind of questionable why that happened, especially considering the fact that General Petraeus thought that he was actually one of the most important members of the military, especially when he was stationed in Afghanistan. Well, the reason why he was forced to resign is because he had a love affair with a Washington Post reporter by the name of Ann Scott Tyson, and she actually left her job at the Washington Post to go live with him in Afghanistan while he would go on his missions. Now, the Army was not too happy about that because they were both married at the time. They were in troubled marriages and they were unhappy. She left her husband to go be with him. And so the authorities and officials within the military decided, no, we got to let this guy go. There's no way he can be with us. His commanders charged in confidential files that he had indulged in self-created fantasy worlds of booze, pain pills, and sex in a tribal village deep in Taliban and Al-Qaeda County with his wife, journalist Ann Scott. And wife, of course, is in quotations because I don't think that they were actually married, but they both left their spouses to be together.
So, look, you can judge their personal lives because they both had 4 kids and they wound up living together in the mountains of Afghanistan. And I know that that the military has rules against adultery, but I don't think that's what this is about. Okay, I think that his superior officers hated him because he didn't do things like they did, and that's actually why the people at the very top. And this is a rare instance. I disagree with a lot of things that General Petraeus did, but in this case, I agree with him. And he is, whether you like him or don't, he is a smart guy, General Petraeus, right? He sees this guy, and what he does, and the reason he looks like he's Afghani there in that picture is because that's what the Green Berets are supposed to do. They're supposed to melt into the local population, and he's doing his job in an excellent way there. Petraeus recognizes that and says, this guy is winning hearts and minds. He's going and actually convincing tribal leaders to be on our side. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. But a lot of the knuckleheads between him and the top general are like, oh yeah, body counts. Yeah, we killed this much Taliban. We bombed that city. We're awesome. And they're so stupid. That's why we never won in Afghanistan. We never had any prayer winning in Afghanistan.
He actually is extremely intelligent. He just infiltrates the locals and he basically convinces them to fight the insurgents along with him.
And he says, look, I'm going to take off my vest. I'm going to take off my, all the things that I have from the American military, and I'm going to be right there next to you. I'm going to endanger my life as I'm asking you to endanger your life. So join us, be on the American side against the Taliban, and because these are tribal leaders, and they could go either way. And they wind up loving him. Remember, the guys he's helping are not Taliban. They're fighting the Taliban. I have to clarify that because idiots on Fox News will see him dressed up like that. And they'll be like, oh, like they did with Bo Bergdahl's dad. Oh, he looks like a Muslim. Oh, he's Taliban. No, he's Green Beret. He's supposed to do that. It's a classic definition of what Green Berets do. Yeah. And he convinced them and it worked. That's why Petraeus goes in there. It's like, oh my God, this guy turned all these tribal leaders to our side. That's exactly what you do in a counterinsurgency. So he had to be punished.
Yeah, so let me tell you what he told ABC News. He said, I never left the battlefield defeated. I never lost a man. Well over 20 awards for valor for the men that I fought alongside. We went after them every single day. I brought all my men home. That's it. And when it comes to David Petraeus, or General David Petraeus, he said he clearly had grit, he had guts, he had intelligence. He is one to whom we owe a debt of gratitude, even recognizing how things ended for him. Folks make mistakes, obviously.
So this is not before he got, forced to resign from the military. Afterwards, Petraeus says, I know he was forced to resign. Still not buying it. We still owe him a debt of gratitude, right? He got screwed, man. Look, you want to nitpick somebody? Oh, you had sex with the wrong person. You drank in the military. Oh, did you? You had booze in the military? Wow, right? No, they wanted to get him, so they pulled out a secret file, and they were like, oh, okay, fine, whatever, adultery and booze and pills. Okay, yeah. You're forced to resign.
So that's an interesting hypothesis. I don't know if that's really what happened. I think that there is that element of danger that the reporter was put in. I mean, obviously, she did it on her own.
She resigned?
She left her job. She's no longer with the Washington Post, and Ann Scott Tyson decided, you know what, I'm going to go live with him in this very dangerous part of Afghanistan. So maybe they really did genuinely have a problem with her doing that. Really?
But look. First of all, the military is literally in bed with reporters, right? They embed them, okay?
Yes.
And they have such a tight relation with them. That's why McChrystal got burned in Afghanistan, because he thought when I'm talking to Michael Hastings, he'll be like every other reporter I talk to, and he'll just pleasure me. And he'll write what a great, glorious leader I am. Oh my God, oh shit, he wrote down the things I actually said, right? Because that's what they're used to. So they don't mind being in bed with reporters. They'd be like, way to go, good boy, way to go get him. No, they hated him because he was actually smart and effective. Because if you show up your superiors in the military, in a corporate bureaucracy, wherever you do, that's the worst mistake you can do, to be smarter than them and more effective than them. They will bury you. Look, he's coming out with a book. That's why this story comes out. Understand it's from his perspective, and understand that this is my guess based on what I have read about these stories and the accounts of different people involved, not just him, right? But that's my guess as to what happened here.
Yeah.
And if we'd actually listened to guys like him, we would have been far more successful in Afghanistan. Yeah. And by the way, he doesn't agree with me. Like, he thinks we could win Afghanistan if we kept doing what he was doing. We would certainly have a much better chance. I'm not sure we could ever win in Afghanistan, but I'd much rather have 100, 1,000 Gants to at least give us a fair shot than the knuckleheads who are running it now.